Good afternoon and welcome to Titan Talk. Hey guys, we want to thank you guys for joining us today. You've got yourself Lieutenant Coop here, and we got our Captain McFarland joining us, our local talent.
Ahoy, mateys.
So we just want to say hello and hope everybody had a good weekend. It wasn't too bad for myself. Had a nice little get together with my local family, and I got to do a little gift exchange, and I got some entertaining gifts for a couple of people and some real ones for the others. So not too bad of a weekend myself. Weather old. I don't think there was anything explicitly like horrible about it.
Yeah, it was cold. We had a pretty hectic weekend at work-wise.
I say work
A
was a
lot
different
going
story.
on. Yeah, a lot going on. I apologize. I'm going to be bouncing on here just a little bit. I got another one.
Okay.
So,
He has decided to lock himself out on his laptop, so he's working from his phone, and now he's
yep.
preoccupied a little bit. So it's going to be a fun one today, guys. But no, we appreciate you guys joining us today. We hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. Some small points that we want to come out with the holiday coming up. I just wanted to remind everybody that as of right now, I'm not sure if we're going to be doing a live show this Friday. We will be pre-recording a ton of shows this week. So that way, if we don't, we will still have content for you guys, and you guys will still get a show Friday. We will not be live Monday, and we will more than likely not be live um, the Friday before or after the first of the year. So we're going to be pre-recording a ton of shows this week, so that way you guys still get a podcast and you guys get to still see our faces and make fun of us. But other than that, that stuff's kind of we'll be doing that. So today might be the last live for the year. Unfortunately, the special video that I wanted to do today, we will not do it today. However, we will be doing it this week, and you guys will get that. So hopefully that shows up. I'm thinking once it's recorded, I think I'm gonna do it after Christmas, and that'll be the last podcast of the year. So that way,
Dun, dun, dun.
that's gonna be the fun one. Kind of, it's gonna be us with two guests and kind of get some stuff squared away that way. So we'll be doing a little bit of an interview type thing, but it'll be fun. It'll be a ton more relaxed than what we normally do, even on our non-shop talks. It'll be way more relaxed than that. And you guys will get to hang out with us on a pre-recorded video, but get to hang out all the same. So outside of that, we won't be doing another reaction video until after the first of the year. So unfortunately, you guys won't get to see any of that. But I do have a new setup thing coming up for the reaction videos. We will hopefully in the next couple of weeks, I will have the third camera for the reaction videos up and ready to go.
Where'd you go?
I moved it. Yeah. Um, so hopefully I will have that one up and ready for the next reaction video, and you guys will be able to watch that camera when we do the reaction. We actually guys will be able to see their reactions to everything going on. So hopefully I can get that up and going in the next week, so that way it'll be ready for you guys come the new year. But outside of that, for that update, the next few podcasts, like I said, are going to be pre-recorded. So they're going to be us from the future or us from the past in the future, I guess. I'm not quite sure how that works out.
Ghost of Christmas Past.
But it'll be probably 3 or 4 shows, so bear with me on that one, guys, but they will be out, so that way you guys still have something, you guys can still interact. Keep in mind, in those videos, if you guys have any reaction videos you want me, a couple of you guys have actually sent me some more, so I appreciate that. Even Captain McFarland sent us one.
Sergeant Lavi sent one too.
He did.
That was
I'm not sure if we can use that
yeah,
one.
that one's pretty gruesome.
That's pretty
a lot of blood.
Yeah. It's a good one I think it's a good learning one, but at the same time, I'm not sure if that's what we react to. Because
Yeah.
that one, when it comes to reaction video, guys, send us everything you have.
We'll just say what it is. The guy, it's an employee in an employee bathroom. It looks like
No,
he's
it's
got a little daring.
not an employee. It looked like a regular. He wasn't wearing any kind of uniform. Yeah, just
He had a
patron.
vest on.
It was a jacket.
Well,
But
yeah,
he had a two-shot Derringer in his pocket.
very little like lever or a revolver style, but not a revolver. It's got the hammer, exposed hammer. And he probably caught on something and he shot himself down the leg. Looks like he hit an artery.
He hit, if I remember correctly, because I didn't say it on the video, which was upsetting.
I think the femoral is down your right side, isn't
It's
it?
the inside of the leg.
Yeah, but it's down your right side. The femoral artery.
Yeah,
your right leg.
But it looked like he hit just above the knee, but I'm not 100% sure because they didn't actually show where the bullet went or anything like that.
I watched like maybe 2 minutes, and I was like, even me, like in the heat of the moment, that stuff doesn't bother me. But like if I'm in a calm setting and I see it, like ugh, I
You know
have
what's
white
funny?
coat syndrome, so I
Those
just saw all the blood and I was like, "Ooh," and
those you know
so
what's funny when it comes to reaction videos or videos or anything like that? Gore never bothered me, blood doesn't bother me. What always got me was the sound of a breaking bone.
yeah, that's not one you're I
That's
mean, I think that's just a
I've heard
natural
it.
instinct,
I've
yeah.
heard it before.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
felt it, unfortunately, with cracking ribs and stuff like that, and just hearing that sound,
Yeah,
oh,
snap.
man,
The
that
that's like
shivers.
the wrestling videos
Yep,
where
arm wrestling.
they put their yeah, the arms was the
Oh, man.
worst. We were actually, it's a little side story. We were doing condition it was, when I was in high school and I was playing sports, and I I did wrestling practice. I didn't participate in the meets because they didn't want me to get injured, but I would go to their practices, which anybody that knows wrestlers or has wrestled, they're no joke. I mean, the temperature is usually over 100 degrees in the wrestling room just to help because guys are always trying to make weight.
Right.
And so it was just to help keep us in shape during the off season. And anyway, we were doing warm ups and stuff, and there was you just kind of dry drills you go through, just like um, shooting the legs and just certain moves you do while you're training, but it's like sparring. It's not real.
Right.
You're not going at it, but at the same time, you're also kind of putting some effort into it just to get better and work on your technique and stuff. And anyway, this kid falls back and he puts his arm down as he's falling back to brace himself, and he snaps it. Like it was
Wow.
just he just had it just hit weird.
Just the way it hit?
Yep, just the way he
Ooh.
pivot or the way he positioned it when he put it on the mat, and everybody heard it. It was
Oh,
like
yeah,
a
dude,
real
it's
loud pop, and I look over, and he was kinda in shock, and when he got up, it popped, like, both bones just snapped completely. It didn't
oh,
cut through the skin or anything, but it was like a rubber arm, and
yeah.
he was just like, "Oh," and I was like, "Oh," "Oh my god,"
I think the worst
and he's just walking down the hall, he's like, "Oh, it hurts," but yeah, so I've seen that, unfortunately, I was doing an interview, I was out in the field talking to somebody, it's downtown, I won't say where, but it was downtown KC,
yeah.
and this person decided to jump off of a parking garage. It was like 6 stories, and it was probably 60 yards from where me and
Mhm.
this person were standing talking. And
You
it's
heard it.
yeah, it's gonna sound horrible, but it's like if you take a trash bag full of
I just don't. Let's
like
just leave it at
food
that, yeah.
and it was awful.
Oh, yeah, it's
And I
horrible.
saw it and it was gross. And it's the sound it's like
You never you
smells
never
and sounds on
you
this
never
job you
unhear
never
or
forget.
yeah, you'll never forget it.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, that person made a really bad decision that day, but it was distinguishable because 'cause we're sitting there talking, you hear it, and she's looking, she saw it because it happened kind of behind me, about 60 yards or so, so it's a little ways away, and it's downtown, so it just reverberates off all the buildings,
Is this
and I go, "That," and she goes, "Yeah."
real quick, I'm not gonna say where, but was this the new construction down there?
Mm-mm, no.
Okay.
This is over by some of the, places that people live.
Oh, okay, 'cause there was, some new construction, I can't remember, probably 2 or 3 years ago, and they were building something. I'm not gonna give out any this was downtown Casey, and,
Yeah, it's as descriptive as I'll get, but
yeah,
lots of buildings, and
there was
the acoustics are good.
they were doing a new construction there,
I know what you're talking about.
and
Yep.
you heard about that one, right?
Yep.
The guy did the same
Yep.
thing? That
Yep.
wasn't that one?
Yep.
Oh,
Different one. I wasn't there for that one.
that one just ooh. Suzanne, thanks for joining us. Herrera, thank you, and Billy,
Ah, thanks,
always
dude.
always good to see you.
I saw that, dude.
Suzanne says Cap McFarland can get on his phone, but when I call, I never get an answer, feeling so unloved.
Well, that's because people call a lot. Yeah, this is important stuff. Not that you're not important, but this is important work stuff
This
that I have to
client stuff.
yeah, client based.
Herrera says he's 5-star general. Herrera's here. Uh, but no, I mean, this just says it's the worst I've ever had. At least one of those things. Hey, Gary, thanks for joining us. The worst one I think I've ever experienced and actually like listened to was back in I think it was my junior year in high school. I was in ROTC and we had the color guard, and those guys actually they were M4s, but they were decommissioned, so they had a welded barrel, so you couldn't use it or anything like that. And they
Mhm.
used to do the tricks and stuff like that. And one of the guys did one of the tricks, and it was one of like the somersault ones where they flip it in the air and it spins. As it came down, it landed wrong and landed straight across right there. And
Ugh.
you heard, I mean, it was that snap. Gun hit the ground, and he looks over, and we look at him, and it was off to my left, so it wasn't really behind me, but it was kind of like my peripheral. But as we hear the snap, we all look over because we all know the sound. We've all heard heard it before and everything like that. And we all look over, and he's just down on the ground, and his arms just hanging. We're like, oh, okay, that's not good.
Sorry.
So I mean that's and like I said, that's one of those things. When it comes to those videos, gore never got me, nothing like that. It's always that sound of the bone, just
Yeah,
that.
Yeah, it's not a good sound.
Nope, I'm good.
And I think your body, and this is probably something like your animalistic tendencies, like you're not supposed to, it's supposed to be like a fight or flight response to
Yeah.
something like that because it's a survival instinct. So obviously breaking bones is uh not good for the body.
No, flight.
So yeah. So
Let's
what
see.
else?
Uh,
Christmas is gosh, Christmas is Sunday.
no.
Less than a week
We were
away.
talking about this last week. So real quick before we get into that, real quick, guys, if you don't have a jacket, now is the time to let us know. You can, excuse me, call the lieutenant phone and make us aware of it that you don't have one, and we will get one to you. We have all the jackets out to everybody who is outside a majority of the time or all the time. So now we have jackets for everybody. So if you don't have one, let us know. You can either email April and let her know, and she will either get you a time set up to come to the office, or if we've got the ability to, she'll send a patrol officer out with a jacket to you. So if you can't get a hold of April or you don't know April's email, call the lieutenant phone. We can also get you set up on that as well. So um, don't forget about that, guys. If you need a jacket, you don't have one, reach out to us and let us know. We've got them in spades now, so we can get them out to you guys. So everybody else should be set to go on that. So just let us know. We get those going. Let's see. Mine is important. Trying to pick up extra hours. There you go.
Nice.
If I was home, I take a shot every time McFarland checked his phone.
All right. Well,
Billy, you can't do that. You're on the road, but I appreciate the
here, I
gesture.
want to check email real quick.
Oh no.
Yep.
Well, when you're doing that, I won't. Let's see.
All right, I'll take it. I can't read the comments, but I can juggle in the
Susan says that Billy would die of alcohol poisoning.
Well, hey, we really enjoy doing this podcast, but we have to make sure things are settled as far as our obligations as lieutenants and me as the captain. So, in order to enjoy having, or in order to have fun, we got to make sure all the work is done first. So it just looks like they want that.
Yep.
Yep. So,
Cool.
when we're short staffed like we are, when we're both up here, it really takes away our attention. So I get very nervous when we're in here and there's, potential for stuff. And we have to be perfect in a lot, or we don't have to be perfect in a lot of things. There's a few things we have to be perfect on, and that's communication. So that's why. So I just want to get that
Beatty
addressed.
says that he's on Christmas leave, so he's going to try that drinking game.
Oh, nice. Every time here you go.
No work.
Here's another one. This one's on me.
Where's the Herrera says, where's the carne asada?
Carne asada. I haven't seen him in forever. I didn't even know he watched the podcast.
I think this is the first time I've seen him. I'm glad he showed up. It's the first time I've seen him though. If you're watching in the future, you gotta let us know, man. Just always say hi to us. We'll point you out, make fun of you a little bit as we can. We do the same thing to everybody.
That we're pretty fair about being mean to everybody or poking fun at everybody. But we poke fun at ourselves as well. So.
The next update I got for you guys for holiday schedules, those are all updated for Christmas. So if you think your schedule's changed, double check it. If you work, most store hours have changed completely from what they normally are. So please double check your schedules. And on that note, not every client has reached out to me. So if you think you shouldn't be working or you shouldn't because you have a little sign on the door that says you're not supposed to be there, but your hours say otherwise, please take a picture of that and send it to me or call the lieutenants and go, hey, am I supposed to be here on Christmas? If you show up to Christmas to your post and nobody is there, call a lieutenant and be like, hey, something's wrong. Nobody's on my post. Let us know so we can figure out what's going on. Because it does happen from time to time, as most of you should be aware. Unfortunately, not every client reaches out and says, "Hey, we're closed."
Yeah, so bear with us. We are at the mercy of their notifications. Again, communication's huge, but we can't force them to communicate. And sometimes they don't necessarily know. Their
don't think about
executives and
it.
upper management doesn't make a decision, or if they have, they haven't communicated that. So yeah, just the best way to combat any kind of scheduling issues is always follow what your schedule says, because ultimately the scheduler is the one that's going to take the heat if something's wrong.
Yes.
As long as you follow your schedule, then you'll be okay. Whether or not they're open or not that's not on you. So that's the burden of being in trouble is on him or me or anyone that handles your part of the schedule, because we're the ones that have to have it correct. So you just follow the schedule. If you're like, I don't normally work at that time, go at that time anyway, because that's what the schedule is saying.
So I was going to say, some of those stores where the hours have changed, some of you guys who were normally work afternoons notice that you're working middays now. It's because the hours changed, and instead of client saying, "Hey, I only want this officer for 4 hours instead of the full 8. Let's adjust the schedule back 4 hours so that way you guys still get your 8." So,
Mhm.
keep an eye on that. Some of the stores did that where they updated on Christmas Eve. Everybody closes early for it, and so instead of you losing hours, they just adjusted it back so that way you guys still got your full 40. Beatty, Cap will reach out to you, send you a text after the podcast. Make sure he does it.
Sure. Whatever.
Billy, glad you like the magnet. Those magnets are super helpful, guys. Keep those in mind. Those are for the refilling the tank and making sure that your work life balance is taken care of. So please, please, please use those if you need them.
A good note on that too, is if your significant other, your spouse, wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, sometimes, you know, this would explain it. So my wife and I know kind of our career paths, obviously, and we've had that conversation, we've made that decision. She helps people, I help people. It's something that we do, and that is very taxing on a human being. I'm not gonna sit here and toot my own horn and say, we're so selfless. No, it's just something that I feel that's just what that not that's just my purpose. It's what when I wake up and feel like, yeah, I'm going to work and this is awful. That's when I know I need to change career paths, and I don't feel that way here. A lot of that is because of the family I have at work and stuff is great, but also it's just I there's a sense of purpose and being an advocate for other people that can't always help themselves or having a bad day and being hopefully somebody that can make that day a little bit better. And so that is taxing on a human being. It really is. Law enforcement, first responders, military, stuff like that, or those professions are taxing on you. So that's why we talk about that. Doing your maintenance personally or mentally, but it's taxing on those around you too. Your family members, your spouses, your significant others. People that are close to you will be affected by that. There were nights where my wife was very worried because of what was going on in Kansas City while I was working overnights and stuff, and we had some civil and um, just society was at or was there was an unrest amongst the community for various reasons, but she worried, and so that's hard on her. And she knows what we do, and she knows that this is something that I'm very passionate about. So she's not going to get in the way and say, you need to stop. But make sure you have those conversations with your family members and your loved ones, your friends, family, whatever. Let them know that that program we have is accessible for them as well. You don't just have to be a Titan employee. As long as you're associated, you those resources are available. So please reach out if necessary. And if you are on the fence about it, it's probably a good indicator that the check engine light's on and we need to get some maintenance done. So and
Anytime there's a question with that, if you're just like, if there's that little hesitation there, the check engine light's on.
yeah.
That's
So
just that's
yeah,
what it is.
just your body's telling you, your mentality, your mental well-being is telling you what you need to hear. You have to listen and do that maintenance. And so a lot of people think, hey, you see carnage and stuff at work or whatever, what we were just talking about before, that stuff. I'll never forget those sounds, and visuals. And I'm okay with that as much as I can be, and, there's people there to support me if need be. That also affects people around me because the way I act is then changed
It changes
or
everything.
altered, and then it's like that butterfly effect, so just make sure that you are doing that routine maintenance and addressing those issues and not just stuffing them away, like and I'm guilty of that. That's what I used to do in the past, and that didn't work very well, and I've lost relationships and had issues because of it, so not to go there, but I just
It
please
happens.
understand that that's what that's for, and that's why the magnet was a great idea, because it's a reminder every time you go to the fridge, which I do multiple times a day. Sometimes I just open it just to look in there, even though I was in there like 10 minutes ago. I think most people are guilty of that, but I do it more often because I'm looking for hopefully the snack fairy just put some new snacks in there for me or something. But it's on my fridge, and I look at it quite a bit, and it's just a nice reminder that hey, if that support is needed, it's there. No questions asked, no judgment whatsoever. So please, please, please utilize that tool if you feel that you need to, and if you're thinking about it, feel that you may, it's probably a good
It's
indicator
an
that you.
indicator right there. And Beatty says that's why he picked this field in the military. Wife's with the same ship, and it's incredibly understanding.
Yeah.
And that changing somebody's life or being there for that moment where you can change it is a monumental thing.
Yep.
When you're in the field and you get that chance to help somebody, whether it be getting them to a shelter to where they can, take a shower and get ready for a job interview, or you help them on that path where they can get corrected in that area, there's nothing better than that. I remember my first post I worked was an apartment complex, and I think we were there for probably like 3 or 4 months, and on the 4th month, just before the contract ended, because the apartment complex sold and they didn't want security anymore, I was talking to one of the tenants there. She said that she had never felt safer to let her kids out in the park, like, out in the parking area, because that's the only play area they had, which is bad to say. It's the only area where the kids could run around a little bit, and she'd never felt safer since they had gotten security, and that alone just it made me feel like I was complete, like everything I was doing was for a good reason, and
That's the one you got, right?
get it all
Sorry.
set. Yes.
Okay.
And get that
Sorry, I
taken
didn't mean to
care
cut
of. Almost threw me off there. But I
Sorry.
mean, those instances like that where you can effectively change the way somebody
Sure.
reacts or the way they feel about where they live or how they're doing that day to bring them up a peg. I mean, those are the things that guys like. If you're doing this for a living, that's what we live for. Those are the moments. It's not all about taking someone to jail, or it's none of that applies to it. It's about being able to effectively change somebody for the better.
Yeah, I mean, and a big part of that too. It's not the things you're talking about are great, and those are big touchdown spike football moments. But sometimes it's just a little thing of, hey, this guy reacted to me in uniform a little differently than I expected, and hey, they're not all bad guys, or
Mhm.
they're not what the media. Unfortunately, a lot of the media today tries to portray people in uniform, men and women in uniform, as bad people or people that are aggressive, or just that we need less of them, and just couldn't
That's
be
it.
further from the
Yeah.
truth, and I'm biased because this is my profession and I love it, but at the same time, I know so many good people that would do anything for anybody else, and that's what makes the world go round, in my opinion. Selfless acts and just treating other people like you want to be treated. It's the old golden rule.
Yep.
There's a reason why that's the golden rule, is because that's one you want to stamp up top that you live by, is just do something for somebody else, that you would want done to you, or maybe, they can't do for themselves. And it's it's selfish in a bit because I enjoy how it makes me feel, but at the same time, I know that it's actually doing something for somebody else.
Yeah.
Whereas, I can go eat a whole pizza and that feels great until afterwards, but that's not really doing anything for anybody else. It's keeping the pizza company paying rent. But at the same time, like, there's just something that's so it's rewarding about it's like a full circle. You do something for somebody, and that in turn gives you some satisfaction because you're doing something for somebody, and as long as it's for the right reasons, I think that's a good noble cause. And
Agreed.
so, yeah.
Gary, to answer your question, yes, the magnets are being mailed out, so everybody will be receiving. We can make
We're
that
waiting
public,
on
right?
postage. Yeah, we're waiting on
We can make
postage.
it public, right?
We did now.
Okay, well, we're sending out holiday cards to everybody. So for those of you who didn't receive it in person, you'll be receiving it through the mail. I think, like Captain McFarland here said, we were just waiting on postage right now. Once that's solved and that's taken care of, they'll be mailed out to you guys, and you should get them in 3 or 4 days.
Yep.
But there'll be a nice little holiday card in there, and then there'll also be a magnet in there with that Work Life Matters thing, magnet in there as well. So, like Lieutenant McFarland, mine hangs on my fridge. But same thing. I'm a fat kid by nature, and when I go looking at that, my fridge for those extra little snacks, it maybe will magically pop up because
Yep.
I didn't go to the store. Um, it's
That's the
staring
snack
right there,
fairy.
yeah, staring me in the face. So, but just things to take into consideration to think about and remember, guys. It's that stuff matters.
Yep.
Always keep that stuff in mind when you're looking at that. So, um, other than that, weather.
Cold, cold,
It is
cold.
gonna
Buckle
be
up.
cold. I was looking last week, and they were projecting snow starting Wednesday. They have moved it back now to Thursday. It was snowing a little bit today, which was crazy. I didn't even.
Yeah, we had some flurries.
It
It kind of
was
stuck to the grass a little bit, but the ground's
not
still
really.
pretty warm.
Yeah, it's only like 38 degrees, so it couldn't stick.
Yeah, maybe it was just looked like it was, but it was wet. When Sparks came in, he had a bunch of
Yeah, so
snowflakes
did
on his
I.
jacket. So yeah,
But yeah, no, I mean, it was. So keep
I
that.
think Wednesday.
Wednesday is when it was originally projected, but now it's Thursday. So
Okay, so
Wednesday is going to be clear. It's still going to be
those of you,
cold. It's going to look
yeah.
like this. It's going to be cloudy, but the snow doesn't actually hit until Wednesday. I don't remember the time, unfortunately.
So
Um,
what that means is, like we talked about before, leave a little early.
yes,
Drive
yes, yes, yes.
carefully and safely. If you have any kind of complications or issues, contact Lieutenant Phone as soon as you know. Calling us at 1400 for a shift at 1400 saying you're going to be late doesn't give us much grace with the other officer that might be working for you or the client. So please, 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 again, communicate, communicate, communicate. Let them know, hey, there's a wreck. There's probably going to be lots of them. Hopefully, you guys are safe and aren't involved in any. Um, but I'd rather you get there late than never. Your family doesn't want you getting hurt. So please be smart, make good decisions when it comes to road conditions. We used to offer transports. Unfortunately, we just don't have the bandwidth to do it like we used to. We're spread too thin. Our patrol staff is way outnumbered. So, just plan accordingly. Think of it the way I had an old boss joke around with it and said, "Hey, if I were to tell you that there was a $500,000 scratcher winner here at the office, you would be here." And I was like, "Of course." But I don't get paid $500,000. This
You
is an
you
old
know,
boss, not my current one. And so just think of it like that. I mean, this is your job's an obligation, and we got to be there. But at the same time, if it's unsafe, then we have to make
there are
those
exceptions.
accommodations. Yeah. And so if you're at your post and you have outside patrols and there's ice everywhere, it's probably not a good idea to conduct those patrols. Take a picture, make a report. That way the client knows that, hey, why didn't our guy do, because sometimes the client's in California and they got a business in here and they don't know what happened here.
Yeah,
If they live in California, it's sunny and 70 every day. So they're like, snow, what is that? So
there's no such
just
thing.
make a report and say, hey, there was water on the sidewalk that froze, or it rained and there was, sleet that turned into ice, and the conditions were unsafe. Again,
So
call the lieutenant phone and just gonna give us the rundown, and then that way, again, it's just like before when we said it's on him with the schedule, it's on the lieutenants with your well-being as far as patrols and stuff like that. So slips and falls are one of our biggest issues in the winter, obviously. And so please, please, please be smart, make good decisions. If it's icy and like I said, you have to do exterior foot patrol, maybe just do a good visual, stand there for a few minutes to make sure you can see, be a good
a
deterrent.
good witness,
Yep.
good deterrent.
Yep. So we're not going to go running across the skating rink and get hurt because then you're out of work and then we got to find replacements, stuff like that. So over decisions like that, obviously, is something out of your control. 100% understand, but if you can make good decisions, that'll help us in the long run. And then again, just call the LT phone and say, "Hey, man, it's kind of gross out. It's real cold, windy, and looks like hard surfaces are starting to freeze over." I can assure you, my lieutenants will say, "Absolutely, do not make exterior foot patrols." Just
And that'll be something too coming down the line too when we're out in the road or when that's going on. If you guys have patrols and it's starting to snow and stuff like that, and we start to see it come down, we'll make that decision generally before you guys do, and we'll send out a message and a lighthouse update. Say, hey guys, given the weather conditions the way it is, we're gonna go ahead and cancel exterior patrols right now. So, and just keep an eye on that. That's something that we keep an eye on ourselves through the weather reports and stuff like that. And then when we start to see it come down and we're actually watching it and seeing it come down, whether that's a vehicle patrol or foot patrol, whatever, we'll make those calls ahead of the time and be like, hey guys, due to weather or due to whatever reason, we're gonna abstain from doing these for right now and just stick to being a visual presence inside. And then if you gotta step outside for a minute or two to look outside, then we'll do that. But it's about staying safe, staying healthy and stuff. So keep that stuff in mind. Keep an eye out for those messages when they come out because if you're coming in the winter, we're already here and the snow will start coming more and more. That's when you'll start to see those. So just keep your eyes open for those and pay attention and hopefully those will come out before you guys decide to make foot patrols. But if you do and you see that, make mention of it. We'll kind of look at it from there. But other than that, I don't really have anything major. Gary says, if people walk past me at my post and thank me for being there, makes me feel good hearing that. Yep, and that we're appreciated. And that 99% of the people that we deal with are happy that we're there. It's that one
Eh,
person.
It's like a 70-30. To
like
be
to think it was a
honest.
90 of the 99, but realistically, it's probably 75, 75% is okay that we're there. I'd say it's more like 75% is okay that we're there. You've got 10% that's like, whatever. And then you've got 15, I'd say it's 15% that doesn't really care, and the 10% that doesn't like us.
Yeah, and some people just aren't going to. You're not going to change their mind, and that's fine. I'm sure there's a lot of people that don't like me, and that's perfectly fine. There's people out there that I don't like, but no, I'm kidding.
It is.
I
We
give
do everything we
everybody I
can.
meet, yeah, everybody I meet in the field, it's the benefit of the doubt until they prove to me that they don't deserve me to give them that benefit anymore. And so I'm still going to be respectful and nice to them no matter what they do to me. And part of that is just the gig. No, it's there's a lot of rewards out there. A lot of people are thankful for the things we do, and so and I'm appreciative of all my Titan guys. You
Mhm.
guys are some of the best officers out there, and I really appreciate all the hard work you guys do. And so that's why it's easy for me to come to work and do what I do because I know I work with a
True.
really good crew, and I appreciate you guys. Speaking of, I'm getting blown up here, so we're probably
We're
gonna
gonna
cut
have
it
to cut it
short.
a little short. So we
Um,
appreciate everybody joining us
yep,
today. The last thing I do want to say is I double checked it just to make sure. With the weather coming in, it is supposed to rain on Wednesday, but we're not supposed to get snow until Thursday. It is like almost at 100% on Thursday.
yeah,
So when it comes to that, guys, going back to the jackets, if you don't have one and you do hourly patrols outside, or you do anything outside, or you just want one at this point, please get with us about a jacket.
yep,
Okay, you can call Lieutenant Phone. We'll get you to April. We'll get you
yeah,
time
or
set
just
up,
email records.
or email records.
Yeah, records at tpcsecurity.com. That's records, records. I just spelled that right. I was worried there for a
That would have
second.
been
At
hilarious.
TPC Security. That's TPC.
Are you really gonna give that
Tom,
out to
Paul,
everybody?
Charlie. Yeah.
Okay. Live on the air. Here
Well,
we
it's
go.
HR. Yeah, they got all of them. So, but yeah, that's what we want. There's like how many viewers? It's not like we're on the billboard at Times Square or anything. Yeah, just reach out, get you set up for a time to come pick it up. And again, if I can, I will try to deliver some for you guys that are working like 6, 7 days a week at
I do
times. So I
I do wanna
understand
say
that.
I wanna thank our patrol officers. If any of you guys decide to watch this at any point, I wanna thank you guys because you guys went
Killed it
out
this
this
weekend.
weekend
Yeah,
and killed it with
I
jackets.
think a lot of that is Mr. Carrillo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but they did phenomenal.
he did hilarious. So, all right, guys.
So we appreciate
Try
it.
not to get yelled at by my boss. So
Stay safe. Enjoy your guys' week.
be
Again, we
careful.
will having some pre-recorded videos come out. I'm not sure
Yep.
if we'll do live Friday, so we'll find out together. But we appreciate everything you guys do. Stay safe, stay warm, and we look forward to talking to you guys next time.
Take care, guys.
Thanks.